Hello and welcome. This is the Connectors Edge podcast. I'm Marian and LaSalle and my co-host Ricki McKenna. And today we're going to be talking to you about a lot of different things. But the main goal is to encourage you to be part of our community.
Yes.
So the Connectors Edge is really all about doing that. We're connecting with people and ideas that you might not have on your own. Hi, Ricki. How's it going today?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Oh, that's good.
The sun shineth.
I can
Yes.
see it. Yes, I can see it on the side of your face there. It's
Hmm.
shining pretty good there. That's
That's my
good.
window. I have a lovely tree out there too.
What I love about Referral Business Builders and all the different programs that we have, the Connectors Edge podcast and the Connectors Hour, it's a book club that we have, is the fact that no matter what you're doing, something that we have going on is going to fit into your schedule and or your thought process or whatever it is that you're doing. So today we're going to be talking about the podcast, but what I really want to focus in on is Ricki. So Ricki is busy. She's a busy girl. She just got married. She just moved to
Colorado.
Colorado. She just doesn't stop. And one of the things that she did was show up in a newspaper article, and it's not just any newspaper. This is a pretty big deal. So let's talk a little bit about community, and let's talk about how you are fitting all of this in to your life, Ricki.
Ooh. Well, step by step is kind of like it. Actually, I moved back to Colorado. We moved back. Richard and I got married May 10th and just we had decided before that to move. And at this point, it's about 3 months later, we have finally made the house a home, which that's my has been my main thrust for the last 3 months. And as part of it, since I moved back, what's really very interesting when you live in some place for 15 years, it's a small mountain community. You find a lot of acquaintances and friends. And every time I go to the store, I go to this like Kroger um, or Whole Foods. Those are our two markets that are, thank goodness, close by. I run into somebody I knew. And yesterday I had the same experience. I was had my bag on my arm. I had to get a few things. And someone said to me, I know you. And that's been happening since I moved back here and reacquainting with people and just, chatting in the middle of the grocery store and catching up for a few minutes. And sometimes we make arrangements to go have coffee or meet for lunch or whatever. And so it's been delightful, really, reacquainting with people. And Richard is just, I think it boggles his mind that we'll walk someplace and I'll somebody, will wave and we'll say, "Hi, how are you?" It's been so long. And yeah, I moved back. I said, we moved back. So we've been going through that. And then, of course, working around the house. When you move from a large house, a two-story house, into a small condominium, which is where we are, it's called downsizing. It's also called getting rid of. Uh, so we've been going through that.
Felt
And
stress too.
oh boy, big time. However, the fun part about it is having something new and, bringing all this newness into your life again, and rearranging. We've done some miraculous things. I'm my nickname from my former roommate is Esther the Manifester. And so using the principles that I've learned through a lot of years of study, reading, and unity, and just people, and at any rate, I've learned that what you focus on becomes real. And the way you focus on it also helps it become real. And so when I was here for 15 years prior to this time, I had written a column a newspaper column for the Aspen Daily News. But now we're down in Basalt. It's a little different, and I've reacquainted with someone and a group of people actually who started it's called the Center for Human Flourishing. I've reconnected with them, and through them, this is very funny how you meet people. I had gone to meet Rita, who was the person who was in charge of this whole thing. And we met some other people. She introduced me to several people. And as we were leaving, literally leaving the building, a gentleman came out of the men's room, and Rita said, "Oh, hi, I'd like you to meet my friend." And you never know who you're going to meet coming out of a bathroom. And this gentleman, she introduced me to him. He happens to be the editor of the Sopris Sun, which is a Valley newspaper. And I have a copy of it right here. It's a little paper. Most of the papers in the Valley are this size. They're like half the size of the old-fashioned newspapers that, like the New York Times or something. And here is the Sopris Sun. There's a lot of different things in it. And we chatted for a minute. So I said to him, "How would you like a column on nutrition? I'm a nutritionist and, part of the Third Street Center, which is where we were." And he said, "Send me an email." So I sent him an email, and that's how things started. And so here's my first column. Ta-da!
Well, I'm going to share my screen and actually
Okay.
show it. Let's go over here. There we go. Let me know when you can see it.
Oh, yeah. Thank
So
you.
for those of
Nutritionally speaking.
So for those of you who are listening to us on the podcast, if you want to see what I'm showing, you can go to our YouTube channel. It's the same name. It's no different. It's Connector's Edge podcast on YouTube. So let me just show you here. This is the Sopris Sun and soprissun.com. The name of her article is Nutritionally Speaking. And this is, I'm not going to read it right now, but I want you to be able to see that you can come over here and check it out. And then I want to show you what our community did in order to highlight Ricki and really show people what it is that she's doing. So in our community, once you become a member, it's only $10 a month. Once you become a member, you go into what we call Circle. And here it is, our own Ricki McKenna. See, so somebody who knows Ricki saw this article and said, let's highlight her. And so if you come over here and you just click on it, it takes you right to the article. So I am very proud of you, Ricki. I think that you're doing great. And here's my takeaway from what you've said so far. You asked. And that
Yes.
word, ask and you receive, that phrase is so beneficial. Most people keep their mouth shut. They don't say anything. They wait for people to ask them. And you know what? It usually doesn't happen. It usually doesn't happen. You
Right.
have to be responsible for asking and for stepping out of your comfort zone. I'm going to give you one more
Indeed.
example. Becky really wanted to do a swap in the library. We live in a very small town as well. And she wanted to do a puzzle swap, a jigsaw puzzle swap, because it costs, $20 to $30 for each puzzle. And you don't want to redo them, right away if you're really doing them. And so she went to the library and said, do you have a puzzle swap? Well, no, we haven't done one in years. Well, can you? Well, yes, as a matter of fact, we can. Is all we needed was someone to ask. Ask and you shall receive.
Ask. That's the biggie right there. You're absolutely right,
There
Marian.
you go.
Yes.
So Ricki, you're talking about nutrition, and we here at Referral Business Builders know that it's important for us because we sit a lot in our chairs.
Mm-hmm.
We need you to tell us a little bit more about how we can help ourselves nutritionally. So can you go into that a little bit?
Thank you, Marian. Well, yeah, a little bit. The article is 10 superfoods. Well, actually, superfoods. And, why are they called superfoods? You can incorporate anything you want to into your diet, starting from, tea, to toast. But I would recommend that you consider superfoods, which are among the food choices that we have. One of the things I've always said as a nutritionist with entrepreneurs especially, we need energy. And superfoods are among those foods that give us that energy. Because if you're running a business, whether you're a solopreneur or you're in partnership with someone, or you have, 100 people working for you, you've got to have the energy to be there and inspire the others. That's how I feel. But anyone who's going to do anything today needs energy. It's just you can't your life can't go on if you don't feed yourself. And everybody eats no matter where you are in the world. But your choice of foods is what I'm talking about. So the superfoods, they're called superfoods because they contain lots of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, polyphenols, just a whole batch of different things, and they vary. And the idea is of eating these superfoods is to give your body the nutrients that it needs to work properly. That's the bottom line. Um, and everything from dairy foods, which are good to a point, whole grains, cruciferous vegetables, those are the things that are like broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cauliflower and turnips. I mean, to try something new, anything that crunches really is a cruciferous vegetable. Legumes, which are basically beans and peas, they all have different nutrients in them that provide different energy to your body. And for some people, for example, some people have difficulty digesting dairy. There are substitutions. For example, what yogurt's one of that's considered a superfood. But if you can't tolerate dairy, there's yogurt that's made from everything from coconut, almond, cashew, just a whole variety of different things from which yogurt can be made. It's a fermented food. And without getting too technical, fermented foods help your body digest foods. So, therefore, yogurt can help you after a meal or even before a meal to digest the rest of your meal. And it's things like this that I like to include in articles. Even tomatoes can be considered a superfood. But what I said in them was superfoods are good, but not the same ones for everyone. This is where you can experiment, or with a little bit of know-how, a little bit of reading and understanding. If you have something like celiac or a sensitivity to gluten, then you may not want to eat wheat products or something that has rye in it or barley. If you have conditions such as an autoimmune disease like arthritis, something like tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers, sweet peppers, are called nightshade vegetables. Those can aggravate, possibly in individuals, they can aggravate arthritic conditions. Um, Most of the time you want to have things that are anti-inflammatory. Now, tomatoes can be for some people, but for others, they may not be a superfood. And so I wrote the article and, listing a few different things, including the first five were actually, I'm going to just go to the article. Um, Nuts, one of my favorite things. And when I was a kid, I can somehow remember my mother saying that nuts were fattening. But yes, they have omega-3s and they have oils, but your body needs oils, and nuts happen to have oils that are actually good for it. Now, olive oil, coconut oil, um, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Almond oil, walnut oil. They're all different good oils for your body. Some oils can be heated. For example, olive oil and coconut oil are used for cooking, but things like almond oil and walnut oil can be used cold. And the difference is what happens chemically to them when they're heated. And when they get into your body, they do different things. Um, Dark leafy green. Oh, let me just make a point here. When I said superfoods are great for almost everybody, I happened to be acquainted with another nutritionist who was actually found out she was allergic to olive oil. Strange allergy. But instead of olive oil, she substituted other oils for it. So there are ways to substitute for different things and still get those good nutrients. For example, dark leafy green vegetables, everything from spinach to kale to collard greens, those things have incredible amounts of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin K. And vitamin K is one of those things that helps other nutrients work. And they actually, in many cases, have more calcium content than does dairy. So you can choose your vegetables and leafy green vegetables over your dairy foods to give you the calcium that you want. So at any rate, there's a lot of things like that in the article. And just to give you the first five superfoods, we have excuse me, berries. Everybody thinks berries are fabulous, and they are. Not only that, they taste good. I would suggest eating berries and fruits before everything else in your meal. Um, One of my favorite breakfasts actually is blueberries, and maybe if I have raspberries, which I love, and yogurt for breakfast. And I've discovered that there are many yogurts that are non-dairy that work for me beautifully. The coconut yogurts and almond yogurts, and I add my fruit to the plain yogurt, which is a lot less sugar content, and you can add the fruits and nuts that you want. So dairy is good for some people, but berries are good for most people. Every once in a while, I'll find somebody with a strawberry sensitivity. The red strawberries there's are good for most people. There is actually a white strawberry, which may not trigger allergies or sensitivities among those people who have a sensitivity to strawberries. But at any rate, berries of all kinds, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, lingonberries, they're high in fiber and they're high in phytonutrients. Those are those energy giving things that help entrepreneurs keep going. If you're going to snack on something, bring yourself a jar full of berries. That's always good. Fish, omega 3s, they're good for your joints. They're good for your brain. Fish are really brain food as well as the berries. And for an entrepreneur that's running a business, you've got to have your brain working properly. There are other supplements that you can take if you're not getting a lot of omega 3s in your foods. But fish are really one of the best sources for the omega 3s. They're also great for lubricating your joints, keeping things going. Um, let's see, what have we got? We got berries, we got fish, we got dark leafy green vegetables and nuts, and oh, olive oil. Olive oil is one of your best, actually a superfood, especially cold pressed virgin olive oil. And olive oil comes from many different sources, olives, but many different countries, excuse me. And when you put all these things together, you've got a really good combination of energy giving, life giving, and here's another thing that people don't always think of, disease preventing foods. And that's important, especially in today's crazy soup that we live in. It's a soup full of pollutants, and you can't really get away from it. Even up here in the mountains, we've had some problems with fires, and I've felt it in my eyes, the ash from the fires. But just having the knowledge of what foods can help you nourish your system, keep it going properly, and make things work so that you can work. The brain food stuff, everything that you put into your mouth affects your brain and the rest of your body. So, as far as entrepreneurs and connecting that, if you're going to snack on something, try to make it healthy and keep yourself going. And with the Connector's Edge and Referral Business Builders, what I've learned and what other people I know understand, for example, Suzanne with her yoga programs and her chair exercise programs, she's got to be nourished properly to have the energy to keep going. Chris, who's a coach, he needs the energy to keep his brain functioning so that he can help other people with their businesses. Let's see, Elise, I love her talks because Elise gives us so many ideas of how we can present ourselves online. And you, Marian, are the biggest connector of all. You're chief connector. And I know that you've changed your diet, which means what you eat, not necessarily a diet for weight loss or weight gain or whatever, but diet is anything that you put in your mouth. And I'm really very proud of you because I know that you've gone through a lot of changes and that you've taken control of your body and how you feed it, which is super duper important. Do you want to talk to us about the intermittent fasting? Because that's an idea that some people think is a fad, but it isn't. I think it's a really good way of eating and way of living.
One of the things that I like about it is I don't have to go into a diet. I just need to eat between this time and that time. And so the first time I tried it, I was able to release 40 pounds. And
Woo,
that is amazing for me.
that's
Okay, so
major.
yes. And that was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And I didn't gain any more weight, which on when I used to go into a diet, I would yo-yo. I would go
Yeah.
into a diet, I would feel terribly, deprived and all that. And as soon as the thing was over, the diet, I would gain it all back and then I would add lots of more
Woo,
pounds. Okay. And this was like a roller coaster that I was going through. And it wasn't until someone said, you should look into fasting, intermittent fasting, to
yeah.
see if that would, help you. So, along with doing what Ricki is talking about, and also some other health and wellness people that have been invited to help me try to figure this out, I have been able to do a lot of different things that I'm actually eating better. I'm having, protein shake with the berries and all, and I've
Mhm.
I've gone from eating the yogurt to silk because Ricki recommended that I move from what I was eating
Dairy.
the dairy
Yeah.
into silk, which is either soy or coconut, and it's delicious. I absolutely love it. I tried other brands and they were kind of yucky. I didn't really care for them, but silk was fantastic. So thank you for that. But anyway, I can eat whatever I want between this time and that time. And I have decided to eat better, the leafy
Yeah.
greens and all the things, instead of just saying, well, I can eat anything. But I can. If I decide, I'm going to have pizza that day because, that's all everybody's having pizza, I'm not deprived. I don't have to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm
Right.
on a diet. I can actually have pizza as long as I eat between this time and that time. So some people use 6 hours, some people use 8 hours. And I think that the biggest thing that I have learned is you give yourself and your body a break. So if
Yes.
I stop eating at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or whatever I decide, then I wait until the next day and I start eating, so it just depends. So my go-to is 11 a.m. and I stop eating by 6 p.m. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry, not 6, but 5 o'clock is the last time I eat until the next day at 11. And it seems to really help me. My doctor was thrilled this time. I also lost 8 more pounds. So that's 48 pounds that I've lost already. And I'm going to the gym. I'm walking on the treadmill. And anyway, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in order to get healthy. So
No,
that's,
you know what I think it is? Well, I know it is. It's a lifestyle shift.
yes,
It's a mindset and a
yes,
lifestyle shift.
yes, yes.
And that's more important as far as I've always said that diets don't work because of exactly what you said earlier. You can yo-yo. You'll
Oh,
lose weight
terrible.
and you'll feel great, and then you'll start eating as you did before.
Yep,
And sometimes it adds the same amount and more pounds. But the
yes,
idea of thinking of it not so much as a diet or especially of deprivation, lifestyle management, lifestyle changes that work for you as an entrepreneur. You're always busy. And, we talked about being busy and how do we get so many things done. I'm amazed that you get so many things done, but you have truly changed your idea of what food is and what it's for. Because I know that you love certain vegetables. I know you're a rootin' tootin' veggie stew person, which I love. But the idea is to understand that you don't have to deprive yourself. You can have there's a gazillion, thousands of different kinds of foods out there. And what I found in years is people eat the same 12, 15 foods every week. Try something new each week. Try a new vegetable. Try a new fruit. There's a whole lot more vegetables and things out there
yeah,
than there are things like meats and fish and fowl. We've got, beef, chicken, all kinds of fish. We've got pork
yeah.
and, lamb,
Mhm.
just a whole variety of things. But the thing is, there's thousands of vegetables compared with hundreds of, as we say, animal products out there. And I'm not suggesting that you become a vegetarian or a vegan, but 3/4 of vegetables and 1/4 of a meat or a protein source on your plate is what I usually recommend. And it's really easy to do that. You can use a salad. You can add stuff like, a piece of salmon to a salad or add some canned tuna. Just look
Yes,
at the
today
source
we're
first.
having a stir fry, which I
Yep.
love. And instead of using rice, we use cabbage. We chop
Oh,
up
beautiful.
purple and
Hmm.
white cabbage into, little pieces. And you can't tell the cabbage is in there. It just, I don't know, it like binds everything together. And that way I'm not eating rice. It's fantastic. I
Yes.
tell you, we're running out of time, and
Uh-oh.
I wanna encourage people to watch Ricki's show. She does have a cooking show. And so down in the comments below, I'm gonna share the links that she has, and I want you to be able to see the article. So I'm gonna put that in there as well. Ricki, thank you so much
Oh,
for telling us so much information. I know that you can help people if they need extra help. Do you allow people to contact you so that you
oh,
can
absolutely.
work
Yeah.
with them one-on-one?
If you like, I'll put my contact information in the chat.
Well, this is
One-on-one for
this is just
sure.
a Zoom, so you can't really do that. They won't see the
Oh,
chat, but we'll have it in the contact down below
okay.
the video
And
and the audio.
interestingly, people call me if they would text and put either kitch, like or short for kitchen or something in the text, then I'll know that it's not a spam. There's
Okay,
so much spam going on, but I love to talk to people on the phone. That's my first premise. Texts are great, and they can reach me at rickiskitchen.net. It's RICKIS kitchen, one word, .net, and send me an email and put kitsch in there at the beginning so I know that you're not trying to sell me something. Because I
right.
won't try to sell you anything. All I want to do is let you chat. I want to hear what's going on with you, and we go from there. We
Fantastic.
may be a
Well,
fit or not.
yeah, usually Ricki ends us, but I'm going to do it today. So
Oh,
down in the description down below where you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube. I want you to be able to just tell us if there's anything that you heard today that inspired you, and be sure and contact Ricki. All right. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Marian. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderfully healthy day. Mwah.
Bye for now.